Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I have with me today Daisy Baez, and he's the commander of Post 98 for the American Legion in Coral Gables. And thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, Gloria. Good morning.
It was a little bit of a mix-up. We were expecting you you were expecting to have next week.
I thought it was the 24th,
but you made it because
because duty calls.
Ever ready, duty calls. So we're going to find out what your post does. With regard to outreach in the community, but also we're going to talk about the Flight to Honor that the GFWC Florida is undertaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we do that, we need to talk about our sponsor. Every week, South Florida PBS sponsors my show. And God bless them because they're a wonderful resource in our community, but also they allow me to bring people like you in to find out people that are doing good things in our community. So we appreciate you, South Florida PBS. A lot of great programming coming up. If you're a member, you get a magazine every month to tell you everything that's going on. They have a health channel where you can get free health information. And one of my favorite shows, my girl, Dr. Leah, has a sex talk show. It's super interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, and we've got Miss Patty for the kids. So if you haven't checked in with.
Sounds like there's lots of great programming on that channel.
Yeah, it really.
What's the channel?
So, WPBS and XCL in West Palm.
I'm dating myself. I was thinking channel 2, right?
So, well, it used to be channel 2. You're right. Yeah, but their headquarters in Boynton Beach.
Okay.
But gosh, they serve West Palm Beach all the way down to the end of Florida.
Oh, thank goodness.
So yeah, so we're really lucky to have them. So let's talk about where do we start?
Well, there's so many places to start.
The most recent thing we did together
was a fundraiser.
The fundraiser for the Coral Gables Women's Club.
Absolutely. Great fundraiser.
For the honor flight for women.
Yeah.
Veterans.
It's an enormous endeavor for us because we're excited this year to really be focused on recruiting women veterans. So the American Legion Post 98 has got 155 members, of which I think 2 women veterans. One of them, of course, is Daisy Baez, who's immensely impactful. So out of the 155 members, I have, like I said, 2 women, and we have an auxiliary, but they're not members necessarily of the post. But the one member that is a member of the post, Daisy Baez, who won last year Legionnaire of the Year for our post, is tremendously impactful. But because I noticed that Daisy was so impactful, I said, hey, listen, 2025 is a year that we're going to be recruiting women veterans. And I haven't been that successful at it until we started engaging with no less than the Women's Club of Coral Gables.
Right.
As you know, you guys are doing the Flight of Honor this year, and we are really excited to be a part of it.
And we so appreciate that. And the event we did at your place was spectacular. You guys really knocked it out of the park. And thank you for the commitment of support as well, because you were telling me you're committing another $5,000. So we need to do more fundraisers there.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we raised $4,800 and some odd dollars in one night when we did the wine and cheese with the Women's Club.
Awesome.
Not only that, but we had a bunch of non-veterans inside our post, which is fantastic because the idea behind the American Legion is engagement, and to get us out in the community and to really have a place where the community can engage with veterans and all types of other people, right? Business people, nonprofits, anyone really. That is interested in having some type of relationship with the veteran community. So this opportunity was fantastic because not only were we able to do the engagement of veterans, but also with the Women's Club of Coral Gables, which is such an important organization in our community.
Right. And we are so happy to be involved with you because it's an outreach we haven't done before. First time I've ever been in the post. So I was pretty impressed with how beautifully appointed it is. Very, very clean. You got a nice bar. You've got a little outdoor area. So people actually can rent the space.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Smaller gatherings.
We have to raise money. There's no federal funding, state funding. There's no funding for us. So all the dollars that we raise are the ones that we use to support our programs, to include the Flight of Honor with the Women's Club. So one of the ways that we do raise money is by renting out the venue. We rent it out for meetings, for parties, all types of different events.
Yeah.
And the place does lend itself well. We do have a bar, but it's not like open to the public bar. The bar is there so that when people rent the venue,
They've
they
got
have
a place to set up.
Exactly. We also have a full kitchen on the back of there that you may have not noticed at night. But
well, no, and that's another great, benefit that you have for renting the place.
Yeah, usually
Because
when
you have a beautiful kitchen.
outside caterers come in and they're able to sometimes prep and even heat up meals there for whenever people do food service for their event, we have that as well available.
Yeah. So, and then out of your space, you also do wonderful programming.
Yeah.
You do for PTSD, for different things. So explain about some of the programs you do on a regular basis.
There's so many. So the one more newer program was recently started by our chaplain and our vice commander, Albert Rivera. And that program is focused on PTSD support. Now, it's not led by a psychologist or a counselor or anybody like that. Really what it is just a group of individuals that can come together. They come together on the first Monday of every month. And there's no cost. We always have some snacks and some drinks available for them. And they just have a place to have open discussion. There's usually a theme to the conversation, and it's really self-facilitated. So there's nothing recorded ever, and it's just a place where people can find some support and maybe some solace in the things that they're dealing with. And you'll find that more people than not that have either had service in the public life, whether it's in the military or even, and it's open to police officers and firefighters, first responders, nurses, doctors, anyone really that is suffering from this kind of condition or symptoms of it, or just maybe you just want to see if maybe you have some commonalities with people that may have suffered some of these things, then it's an open place to do that, right? There's no pressure. It's a very, very, it's a safe place, right? It's a good place for people to have conversations.
Recently I read a book called The Women in my Women's Club book club, and it's about nurses who served in Vietnam and that they got PTSD as well, and but weren't quite treated as well as the people that were in combat. Well,
look, there's a big difference between I lost an arm and I lost a leg. Very visible, right? I see that you have some physical challenges now. You don't have an arm anymore, or you have a tremendously big scar on your body. Right. Those are visible, but these mental scars, they're not always so visible, right? But they can certainly be impactful. So how do we deal with that? And as a community, we have to try to tackle it head on, right? As you probably very clearly are aware that mental health is just such a big topic in our country.
Absolutely.
And everybody talks about it, but we're actually trying to do something about it, right? And that's our contribution towards PTSD right now. I mean, it can grow from there. The beauty of our post is that we have a lot of enterprising and creative people that are willing to spend their time, and everybody's a volunteer, including myself, to make an impact in the community. And we can talk about a lot of other things that make an impact. And this is just
back
one
another
of them.
time. So, okay. So aside from that particular program, I know you're talking about, you did stuff with Shake a Leg, Scouting of America, Vet Baseball.
Yeah. So these are outside nonprofits that support veteran programs. Look, so let's just talk a little bit about Scouts first. Recently, we got contacted by a scouting troop out of Texas that was driving through Miami to go to some type of, I don't know if it was a jamboree or something like that, some type of trek is what they called it, in the Keys. And then they stayed overnight in our post, right? So they did a camp out in the floor.
That's so cute.
Yeah, we had about 32 Scouts that night, and it saves the Scouts money. Right. And it allows us to be community oriented.
Right. So
even though they're not from our community, but they're Scouts, right?
Yeah, right.
Last year we did 2 Eagle Scouts. One of them, we did their Eagle Scout ceremony there at our post, and one of them is just making their Eagle Scout this year, but he did a program with us. And we sponsored a Sea Scout ship, which I wasn't even familiar with before, but it's called Ship 98 because we're post 98.
Yeah.
And we did the donation for the charter. And what that is once the kids grow out at a certain age, they can go into this thing called Sea Scouts. And we partnered with Shake a Leg. Shake a Leg's offered some space for them to do their things at the marina, and then they have their formal meetings there at our post. So that's some of the scouting things we do, because one of our pillars is Youth of America. We really want to be involved in influencing the youth to do the right thing, to be involved in the community and display American values. So that's one of our pillars.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And with regard to, so Shake a Legs gets, so vet baseball. Tell me about that.
Vet Baseball is an awesome organization that was founded by a guy named Alan Duritz, who is a veteran himself. Mm-hmm. He founded this organization because he loves baseball, right? So then he wanted to combine veterans with baseball. How did he do it? Well, there's a population of veterans that is not as mobile anymore, right? That they're living in, sometimes they're living in homes, and they're sometimes non-ambulatory. So maybe they're in a wheelchair or just have less mobility. What he does is that he raises money. A lot of the money was raised out of his own pocket at the very beginning. And they just take veterans to a baseball game. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. They take them to a baseball game. Now, they put them all together. They bring them together with younger veterans, and those are mostly volunteers. They feed them. They usually do a barbecue of some kind. The Marlins are just a fantastic partner for that.
Marlins are great. Yeah.
And now they're in Philadelphia as well and in Washington. So Vet Baseball has really grown. And every year he comes and gives us a report. It's about twice a year to see how many events they do. And usually Post 98 sponsors one of the events. Each event can cost between $2,000 and $5,000, depending on the amount of veterans that go. And we're very proud to support Alan and Vet Baseball in that endeavor. So that's just one of the other organizations that we support. And of course, the one that you're involved with, which is a women's club.
Coral Gables Women's Club, yeah. And we're so excited to be working with you on more than one level because you're a contractor.
Yeah.
And God bless this man. He's taken us through a 40-year inspection that lasted 4 years.
It's lasted a little while, but we're at the finish line now, and we'll be out of that soon. So but
another 6 years when we have our next inspection,
I'll still be around.
You'll be way ahead of the game.
Yeah, we'll be ahead of the game by then.
Yeah, it should take a lot less time next time.
And I love that. And I got to tell you that the women's club for me is a very special place because of most people just think of your place as a venue to rent, just like ours, right? So we rent the venue, but the money doesn't go into somebody's pocket. It goes into these programs that we support. And I'm going to just give a shout to Women's Club of Coral Gables because what you support is that little clinic in the back that almost no one even knows is there. It's kind of hidden. Yeah. It looks like a venue for weddings. That's quite beautiful, actually. But really all the money goes to support children in the community.
So it's a free children's dental clinic. And
right.
For those of you who have not been to the Coral Gables Women's Club, in back of one of our ballrooms, and there's a door that you can get to, but you can access it from outside. And we have a beautiful dental clinic with murals on the wall.
It's fantastic.
It's such a happy place.
I love it.
But our services, we provide services completely free to the children who fall between the cracks in the healthcare system.
So important.
Yeah. So our dental clinic director, Dr. Iris Torres, says, we treat the children of the working poor, and they're the ones that, right at the end of the month, there's no money left for dental care, but they're not, they don't necessarily get Medicaid, Medicare. So they really are the ones that fall between.
That's why I'm so committed to your programs, right? Because I was that kid. I don't remember going to the dentist until I was an adult,
really?
Unless I needed a tooth pulled. And my mom used to pull my teeth with a little string or something. But that is the main reason why not only am I personally committed, my family, but also our posts. We're able to impact your organization. We're going to do so. Yeah. In this case, we found the nexus. We found the nexus of the veteran, the women veterans for the Flight of Honor. But it's so much more than that. It's about, to me, it's about nonprofits supporting each other. Because oftentimes we're out in an island by ourselves and we don't realize that perhaps there's some human capital in other organizations that we can tap into and help each other be successful, because we're not all in the same space. Like I don't have a dental clinic, right? So I can't impact little kids. I need
but you may know a veteran who has a kid.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So that's kind of the idea. The idea right now is engagement for us, opening the doors. So I'm going to personally invite you to come to Post 98 anytime you'd like. We have meetings on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. At 6 o'clock, we have dinner. If it's your first time there, the dinner's on the house. If it's not your first time there, it's $5. So it's not like a lot of money.
Yeah, I think everybody can afford to pay $5.
Yeah. And listen, that dinner that I'm talking about, for some folks, that's a meal, because you can take. We always make too much food, and you can take some of that food home with you. And so for some sometimes people come and
People on a
that's
fixed
they need that
income
meal,
maybe.
right?
Yeah,
So
that's their next meal.
So yeah, but that also offers an opportunity for camaraderie, right? We
Absolutely.
all we do is talk for a little while. Now, I know that the American Legion has a reputation of old timers telling war stories, and I'm not going to deny that. There's a lot of that going on, okay? But that's not the only thing that's happening. We're also talking about legislative stuff that's happening. We have a legislative committee that is really impactful and totally engaging. We're involved in, hey, what's happening with our military members right now? We have a major command in Doral. It's called Southern Command, if you didn't already know that. It's an important command, and right now there's...
Southcom?
Yeah,
Sure.
Southcom is important.
Everybody knows Southcom.
Well, some people don't.
I live in Doral.
Well, yeah, then you know it. And then we also have Homestead Air Base. We have a command down there. We have
been
lots
there
of things
too.
going on down here. We have District 7 from the United States Coast Guard here. So there's, I don't know what the number is. I know it's well over 10,000 of active duty military members here in South Florida. And we try to impact their lives in a positive manner as well. The post is free for active duty members to join. But if you're not an active duty person or you're just a veteran, really, it's not that expensive. I think it's $50 a year to become a member.
My sister's a member. She lives in St. Pete though.
Well, good. I mean, it's okay. There's posts everywhere. And in Miami, we have a bunch of posts.
And they have they have food and dancing.
Yeah, different posts raise money different ways.
I was going to say, maybe you should think about offering line dancing or doing something.
You know what? The ideas are always, we're welcome for ideas all the time. The post is there and we just need more. That's why I talk about engagement.
I swear she said Legion almost every night of the week.
It's a fun place. It's a fun place.
Yeah. And there's a lot of dancing going on.
I know we talked about the PTSD group, and that's not necessarily a solemn meeting.
Yeah.
It could be very fun. But there's other things that go on there too. We have the Disabled American Veterans meet there. We have the Coast Guard Auxiliary meet there. I don't remember what their number is, but they meet there. So yeah, different members of the community use our space to meet, right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of fun things going on as well. And our meetings, I think, are fun. But I'm kind of biased because I run the meeting.
Oh, well, we should get a group of women's clubs to go.
You should.
When do you meet?
Second and fourth Wednesday of every month.
Oh, shoot.
At 6 o'clock. You probably meet at the same time.
No. We meet the first and third and fourth.
Well, we could
do the second.
We have dinner at 6, and then we open the official meeting, which has an agenda, at 7 o'clock. And I'm prompt about starting on time and ending at 8.
Oh,
so I don't keep anybody with extra fluff. I talk a lot, so sometimes it can go over, but I have a clock that's right in front of me that keeps me honest.
Good for you. Oh my gosh. So when you have a meeting, you talk about upcoming events.
Yes.
Finances.
That's right.
You've got a treasurer. Who's your treasurer?
Our finance officer. His name is Cliff Van Allen.
Oh, Cliff, right.
Yeah, Cliff. He's now. He
was a bartender.
He doubles as the bartender / janitor
when we had our event.
Maintenance man.
Oh yeah, he gets to do everything.
Without Cliff, I don't think we could operate as an organization.
That's great. So shout out to Cliff. Thank you, Cliff.
And I gotta say, there's a bunch of other members on the board and in the organization that are just as important as Cliff, right?
Okay.
Without these people, you ask me, how do I do all this stuff? It's not me. It's really the organization. We have some really fantastic members. And we need more, right?
How many members do you have?
We have 155, of which only about 30 are active. So we have 155 paying members, and about 30 show up for the meetings. And they're not always the same, right? Sometimes it varies.
30 showing up for a meeting is not bad.
It's quite a bit, I think, and it's gotten better and better with every month that goes by.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for new people, new energy, new blood. So if you're a veteran, come on over.
Chair?
You know what? The fundraising chair is kind of like a committee that we have, and all the different endeavors, we assign a committee to become the people that are the ones that are going to be responsible for fundraising in that particular endeavor.
Particular event.
Yeah. And one thing I forgot to mention, in this week right now, we have, I think, 3 delegates, maybe 4, at something called Boys and Girls State. They're all in Tallahassee right now.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they're all in Tallahassee right now, participating in legislative processes. So that's really, really neat.
So wait, so you have the Boys and Girls State that you're
so the American Legion,
people?
We sponsor the kids to go up to that.
And how many kids did you sponsor?
Well,
and where did they come
Post
from?
98 sponsored 2 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
They come from different places. One of the girl that we sent this year was from the Young Women's Academy. That's a school. I think it's called Young Women's Academy. It's one of the magnet schools.
Okay.
And then let's see. So Jack Pena is from Terra. And then Luciano Fonseca, I don't remember what school he's from, but he's a son of a veteran.
So how do you select those people?
These kids go through a process. They apply first, and then they go through multiple interviews. And then we make a selection based on how much money we have for sponsorship and how many slots they have in the program.
So how much does it cost to sponsor them?
I think it's around $750 per kid, more or less.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. That's something that other nonprofits that are, giving grants could think about supporting with
you. If you have grants to give, we're open to receiving them because we always need money.
And what is your email address or your
easy? My email address is postcommander98@gmail.com.
Oh, that's super easy.
Easy. Postcommander98@gmail.com. I look at my email every single day, multiple times a day, and then
And do you have a Facebook page?
We have an Instagram, but I don't remember exactly how it is. So I'm going to tell you our website, which is
they should just contact you.
Yeah, you can contact me. It's easy.
Contact him and say, hey, can I get an application to go to Girls and Boys State? Whatever it is. Yeah.
Or just to engage. We have scholarships this year. American Legion awarded a bunch of scholarships to our Army ROTC. Not our post necessarily, but the American Legion at large. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can engage. Well, it's a national program. So the kids go right to the American Legion page and apply there.
Oh, okay. So, but you don't give local scholarships out?
We can, right? We can definitely create a scholarship. We don't have one ourselves because we do so many different little programs, but we are not shy from doing something like that, right?
But do you know who's giving away a lot of scholarships? In my Rotary Club and Junior Orange, I think different organizations I've been involved in set up a foundation endowed fund for scholarships with the Coral Gables Community Foundation. And once you get like critical mass, you say, hey, listen, here's whatever. And you take the earnings off that, and then it builds every year. You can just get people to donate to the scholarship fund.
That's really good.
And then you don't have to worry. And they pick candidates from the Coral Gables community, which is appropriate for you, and makes it really easy for you because you don't have to worry about going through all the applications because I'm telling you, it's onerous. I don't know how they do it, but they gave away $2.35 million last year.
That's fantastic.
But it was accumulated. Some of it was their own scholarship fund, and then they have all these subsequent, other ancillary funds, endowed funds from different organizations, different individuals, and that's how they were able to give it. The Stamps Family Foundation gave them a ton of money.
Well, there's lots of foundations like that. Well, one of the things that we're endeavoring right now, so we have some grandiose thoughts. Some of them that we've already opened up to discussion in the post. One of them is this endowment that I was mentioning to you earlier. We're working on creating an endowment of about $1.5 million so that we can have the post be paid for in perpetuity, right? Perfect. And then all the fundraising we do, instead of paying for like things like taxes or maintenance, can go into our outreach programs.
Perfect.
So that's as a commander, that is my goal. My goal is to, when I leave this command, I want to have the endowment established and set in perpetuity for the post.
Well, tell me, when you name a room or whatever, do you have naming rights for a certain number of years?
Well, look, so like I mentioned to you before, and we have named the post and we have named the one of the rooms. And it was done as a way to recognize some of our members.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
Right, this whole other thing.
Now we have to talk about
using
it to raise money.
Well, we haven't done so, right? So then it's something that maybe we need to consider.
But when you do, make sure there's a limit on how many years they get.
That's good to know. I had not thought of that, all right?
Because if you name it, then you got, that room's gone.
Right, it's true.
But even if it's 2 years, I know the Shoe Museum downtown, I think they do something like that. They changed the name on a...
Well, it's brilliant to do. It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to bring that up because that's a fantastic idea. And ideas like that is exactly what I'm talking about, right? I would have never had that input from you had we not been engaging with Women's Club.
And I'm telling you, I love, like you, I love getting a bunch of nonprofits together. And at the community newspapers, we get chambers together.
Yeah.
So we have another event coming up on the 25th here.
Trust me,
for an hour. You need to come.
I attend community newspaper events in South Miami every single month. It's been for me.
The Casa Cuba?
Absolutely. First of all, the coffee is delicious. They have always yummy croquetas, and I love the pastelitos. Right. But moreover, it's an opportunity to get out there and engage with people that are impactful in the community. I've had an opportunity to speak with other veterans that are, they're not necessarily members of our post, but are out there doing great things.
Right.
So that is, that if you can go to the community newspaper events. They have it once a month there in South Miami. It's called Casa Cuba, right?
Casa Cuba, right across
and it's at 7:30. It's early, so you can get it out of the way. And it's
7:30. You're out by 9.
By 9, you're out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun. And then we have events also at Evelyn Greer Park, Pinecrest luncheons. But those are for when we know we're going to get a huge crowd. We you have to go there.
So. Well, you get a huge crowd at Casa Cuba.
Hey, we do. But at Pinecrest, we have. Oh, you've done the tour here too. You've seen all the people we've had at Pinecrest. Yeah. So from Marco Rubio to Governor
of course.
DeSantis.
Yeah, you got good people coming in here.
Good people. Yeah. So our time is up.
All right.
That went quick.
That did go quick.
So JC, thank you so much for coming. Thank you all for all you're doing in our community.
Trust me, Gloria, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and speak about the American Legion and the organizations that we talked about. They're all important. And I think that if you have any disposable income or you're inclined to philanthropy, American Legion Post 98 is very open to receiving and putting your dollars to work.
There you go. Okay. Again, thank you, South Florida PBS, for sponsoring our show. Until next time, have a good one. Be safe, be kind, be generous,